My name's Guenevere and welcome to my studio. I've been pretty hesitant to do a studio tour video because my studio is like my sanctuary. It's really where I spend 12 plus hours a day. Like the only time I leave this room is to go to the bathroom and eat. Also, I've seen other studio tour videos on YouTube and other artists look really organized and tidy. And maybe that's just because they're making a video of it, but like I tidied up today, but I'm still not like super organized. I'm definitely just not that kind of artist. So I'm going to show you guys what kind of artist I am. I am a bit more eclectic. So I'm going to give you a tour and you'll see what I've got in the studio. First up, I've got this really cool apron that I had made, and I designed the logo myself back when I was painting motorcycles and I was going by Moto Painter. I just love it, and it's one of the things I probably can't get rid of. Next is another very sentimental item. I have actually had this paintbrush since I was like 14? My parents bought it for me while we were on vacation in Texas. I think we got it at some funky shop in Corpus Christi. I have always had it in my art studio, and it's always been like a part of my studio. Right next to my mirror and paintbrush is my Pegboard Wall. And I used to have a rule that when a painting was finished, it needed to get out of the studio. But since I've been doing videos and while I was live streaming on Twitch, I realized that I needed to have art around to have on display and to show everybody. Now for my main workstation. I've got my cheap brush holder with my cheap brushes, and yes, I use paper palettes. Because I'm not the most organized artist, I often don't clean my palette while the paint is still wet, and it makes it really difficult to clean it later. So I just decided that paper palettes were the better way for me to go, because then I don't have to worry about scraping my glass palette all the time. I still have my glass palette somewhere, and guess what? It's got years old dried up paint on it. For brushes, I've tried a bunch of different ones, and I've tried to get myself to use like fancy schmancy artist brushes, but actually my favorite brushes are super cheap. They're the Jerry's Artorama brand. But I really like them, and they're cheap, so I can have lots and lots of them. Under my palette on my painting stand, I have a cardboard box with all of the paints that I use really regularly. So these are the tubes that I'm actively using. Now we've got the command center where I do my main painting that I'm currently working on, and my computer desk. It's not really a desk, it's more like a stand that I've converted into a desk, but it works really well. It's got everything on it so I can roll it around the room and move it around if I need to. The other thing I like about it is it's quite a bit taller than a desk, and so I can actually stand up while I'm editing or doing stuff on the computer. And you gotta have a finger piano nearby. I also have a magazine with a painting that I've fallen in love with nearby. The latest addition to my studio is my drawing desk. That's brand new for 2017. After my trip to Colorado, when I started drawing a little bit more, I decided that I needed to have a desk to sit at, to journal, to write, to draw, and it's turned into my Pastel Station. I designed and built this desk myself. It's actually got lights built into the desk and a bar going over the top that I can mount my cameras on. Althea has claimed the area below my desk as her domain. She has her blankets and toys often exploding out of it all across the floor. She really likes to play and strew her toys and blankets all over the place. She likes to play this really fun game of bury the ball in the blankets and then find the ball. To the right of my drawing desk is this weird window cubby, but it just so happened that my shelves fit in there perfectly. So now it's just like an extra little storage cubby. This is where all sorts of strange studio things start to collect, like the letters for my video intro, and a whole lot of old brushes. Yep, more brushes. On the lower shelf, I've got things like a box of bows and ribbons, because you can never have enough ribbon. Then I have a box of panels that are waiting to be painted on, and some more panels, a new tube of white paint. This is my reference folder. Back when I used to print out my photos, I stored them all in this folder. Lots and lots of cool things in here. I've got the copy of American Art Collector that my art was in. Then there's the bottom, where I just have a couple of boxes that are basically full of more paint. I've got this cool little poster of M. Graham paint. Don't forget my squeaky old chair. If you ever hear squeaking in my videos, it's because of this chair. I have really nice track lighting in my studio with all LED lights. Lastly, there's this closet area. It used to have sliding closet doors on, but I took the doors off so I could have some drawers and a desk in there. Over here, I've got my print department where I have my printer, and in the drawers underneath, I keep all my printing supplies and my prints that I've already printed. Look at all those great prints! I also have my original pastels that haven't been framed yet, waiting for framing, and then just a bunch of other paper and supply type things. This has been a very useful chest of drawers that I got at IKEA. This is basically where I store more like hardware stuff. I've got some more panels, I've got some other paintings, and then my drawers full of more art supplies. I pretty much have remnants of all the art supplies I've ever used in these drawers, because you just never know when you might want to get back into printmaking. In the bottom drawer, I have a whole bunch of like really old oil paints. My dad gave these to me that he got from an artist studio sale. I just think they're really neat because often these brands of paint, they're still around, but the paint that they used to make is different than the paint that they make today. They use different ingredients and stuff. And this paint is totally still good. I guess I just feel like these are like a little piece of an artist studio history. There's also several tubes of the same color. At some point, I'll have to just decide to do a painting that uses some of these colors. Well, I hope you found this interesting. I know I have a ton of different kinds of art supplies in here. Do you have a lot of art supplies in your studio? What do you have in your bottom drawers? Well, let me know in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye! Yep, I totally put front on the front of my sketchbook because I got so tired of opening it from the back.